in the middle of discussing the page Ches, in the middle of discussing the union of the Shem Havaya, the way it is in the elements above Atzilus. See, we brought in the whole concept of the Abiyad Achlolus. So in Abiyad Achlolus, so the Atzilus the Chlolus, that's the Eilus of Shifnei Tzimtzum, and not exactly, but the point, the idea was that the Yud that's the Reishis Akav, the Hey, the first Hey, that's Adam Kadmon, and came to the Vov. Now, in top of page Ches takes the Vov, which in like I said in the Maimah Masei, the Torah Masei, Maimah Metzeim Maseyim. Also, sorry, let's watch the Metzeim. He says that the Vov is, which is my Tzira, so there's Akudim Uvudim or Atik Va'ar. Nekudim or Atik Va'arich. So that's the Vov. So, like I said, it's very bekitzu. So we spoke about it. Nekudim. In other places in Chassidus, Akudim is the law of Madrega and Ak. Akudim Bekli Echad is already a Kli. The Ak itself, it's Eretz Tat Kelim. And Akudim is Akudim Bekli Echad. And the Kudim, that's usually applies to Toyu, which is already Esa Eretz and Esa Kelim. But it's all in the state of, like we learned in the Ein Aleph, the Eretz the Torah compared to Eretz Aklulim B'Nefesh. Mashen can, he doesn't give it too much explanation here, but it goes either way. Shehein P'nes Makalas feels that's it, and it's okay. That's one. Or Atik Va'arich. The other pshat was the Elam Yitzir. What's the verb that Atik Va'arich, which is a lower level than Akudim Nekudim. Atik Va'arich, that's already part of the Kesser of Hatzilus. Kesser Hatzilus itself is two madrigas, Atik and Arich. שאין פנס מרגלסס וזאת צילוס, שזה פנסי האחרים, פנס השטח, that's feels that צילוס. So remember the שטח, the nekuda is the yud, vav is the kav, and the שטח. The hey achreina, that is the essence of tzilus. So that's the way we describe the general concept of Yudke Vovke, the way it is in the Abiyad Chlolos. But it's a Omnam Chlolos Kavu Shaboy the Tzimtzum in Sof Shapnas Tzimtzum Otzam Oid Knes Salmas Dair and Sof Gamber. The Kav itself goes back to the Kav. The Kav is the Madrig Boy the Tzimtzum in Sof. Kav is a result of the first Tzimtzum, which is B'derach Siluk. וגם שנים שם באמצע שבני הצמצם זה לדעי הפסק הצמצם שאין נמשך זה מהות סער די אינסוף כי מבחינת סער לבד. So what is נמשך in the kav? The kav is the האור אינסוף שלפני הצמצם. In אחר הצמצם, but in a way of מהות אחר לגמרי. כמו שכוסה באור חניר האור, so according to one pirush in Chassidus, the pasuk Imcha Mekaychaim Ba'orcha Nir Oyer means Ba'orcha, that is the Oyer Shlifnei Tzimtzum. Nir Oyer, that's like a reflection of the Oyer from Shahar De'or. Shenim the Presmid Agvul is the Verchayoms. So again, it just goes back to the general concept, the way Yudke Vovke is in the Madrigas Shlifnei מדרגת above השטלשלוס, יש בישחקס המדרגת דארדייס הוואי. So these are the four מדרגת of דארדייס שם הוואי, בלי במדרגת פוטיס. So the four מדרגת of דארדייס שם הוואי we described earlier. The Reishis Akav, Ak, Kudim Nekudim or Atik Va'arich, and Atzilus. בכלולוס ההפרש in that goof you have the Yudke, which is two higher madrigas, the Reishis Akav and Ak, that is Etzem Oil, the Chlolus, and the Spashas Vagila, the two lower Madrigas, the Vovke. This is, like I said, the Yakudim, the Kodim, and the Atik Arif, or Atzilus. Aval and Sabshif Net Symptoms, so this is all in that Kaf Lachat Symptoms. Aval and Sabshif Net Symptoms, Lamala Megadorim, Ancient Matraks Madrigas Klav, Vakel, Prinas, in Sof Mamish. The way there is Sabshif Net Symptoms, above any division, above any Madrigas. Akel Prinas and Sof Mamish, everything is infinite without any division. Mash Nifsha, when Sakal, Prinas Chitzen is there, Sabshif Nivdo, Nifel Net Symptoms. What level of the Ein Sof reaches the Kav? Only the Chitzenis, a canal, the marshal. So now it takes us back all the way to the beginning of this discussion to the marshal of the Rav Talmud, when the Mashpia Makabel. The way it is in the mind of the Mashpia before he starts thinking of the Makabel, before it starts even thinking about teaching. So his perception of the concept is way shalai be'er. There's no division. There's no explanation. It's a unique type of direct connection to the concept, to the intellectual concept. Not only that, the like we said earlier by the Rav Talmud, that the seichel that he has on his own, the chitzenius over there has the ability to eventually reach the Talmud, reach the Makabel. But before the Tzimtzum, before he starts thinking, like I'm using a very simple language to explain what the Tzimtzum, before he starts thinking about applying it, teaching it, so we don't see the difference. It's ain't nikah chitzenis not means that part of chitzenis, that part that eventually will reach the Talmud, is not recognizable. It's all part of his own way of understanding. So now he says in the Nimshul, that is in the Marshal. What's in the Nimshul? That aspect of the Ein Sof, that he has the potential ability to reach to be male, if is not nikah, it's not recognizable. It's not separately, it's not recognizable, it's a separate koyach from the Pnimis Atzis. It means that oil which is Ma'ila Megillah Loilams. Shagam Pnimis Chitzenius, a Pnimis Ein Mamish, like Pnimis Oil Klal. Not only, he calls it even more, it's called Ein, because what does oil mean? Even the concept of oil itself, oil means shining. Oil means something that shines. Shining itself is a different, means reaching the other, reaching the oilness. So it's not even called oil, it's called ayin. It's not nothingness. The bchinas pnimis ene gam bchinas makalesas feels lo yeshem bchinas feels klal bchinas feels in kids bchinas chitzayin is bchinas sherish makalas. But we just said that the chitzayin over there is not nikam in apnimis. The agam, he says, when you analyze this, the and subshifnat tzimtzum, you really can define it as two separate things, because the pnimis ain't a pnimis magal spheres. Lo yeshem pnimis spheres klal, pnimis spheres in kids. The pnimis there's no magal for spheres b'chol. It's above the concept of spheres. Mashen, but it's saying is when sherish magal so upon him, there's a tzimtzum. Mashen the chitzayin is shifnat tzimtzum does have is a magal Cain. Gam b'sherish yes necessary spheres agnuzis. So the chayil we just said does not nikah. He made the answer is a hem. K'moish hem in a hem k'moish hem kunu asa and so I'm terim metachlis b'nus ayin mamish. K'mayim alav in an ayin klav and plus stuff mamish. He just elaborates on this concept how on one hand the Ein Sof Shivnat Tzimtzum contains the chitzenis is like a mocker to eventually to a kav to the spheres, but it's such an abstract state that everything's subtly bottled that we can't see the difference in that pnimis. Ain't a nik. So it brings the famous line from Tanya that we actually learned by Arichas in Samachei. Over there, elaborated a lot on this line. Because in Tanya, or B'chelik Beis, Perek Beis, in two places of Tanya, in Perek Lamed Gimel, and in Shayach Ramon. Hamashal, the Erev Ziv HaShemesh, Moshe Beguf Kada HaShemesh. The brings a marshal the way the Erev Ziv HaShemesh, not the Erev Ziv HaShemesh that reaches us, not that part, the light and ray of the sun that reaches us, but the way it is exists within the sun. The Shomar Yazeva B'mayla Madrig Gavoy B'Abba B'Kmei Shachar Kach. On the one hand, when you think about it, we think about it in practically speaking, we think the earth, the way it is within the sun, is probably much. It's not far. It is much stronger. It's much more powerful. Take a vigil. It's in the way the earth is within the sun itself. It's much stronger. It's much more powerful. That's what Tanya says. At the same time, it is more powerful, but it's bottom that is the marshal from Er Shemesh. Think about Er Shemesh. The Er Shemesh, the way it reaches us, it loses the strength of the way it is within the Shemesh. But at the same time, it's something we can point. It's light. The way the air within the Shemesh, it's much powerful, but at the same time, it's bottled gabi the Gufa Shemesh. It's the same thing. It's in the Nim Shaluk That's why the oil, even the Chitzenis, the way it is within the Atzot Sein Sof, here means, but if not Tzimtzum, ain't a place with Tzis Kla oil. V'shem Zen Nika Kav Yesh Ma'ayin. That is the reason why the Kav is called Yesh Ma'ayin, because the Kav b'yachat to the oil, the way it is called, but if not Tzimtzum, it's Yesh Ma'ayin. The way it is, in it's Ayin, it's nothingness. The Kav is a Yesh, there's something there, there's a Gil. Was wir getan, aber da Tika Dusha bei Spekal Bago. Ja, is and explain that Shakal im Koyab has ein Channel Beshem of the Club, because the way when the is called im Koyab ein Beshem of the Club. By that seems to much not something. So what he so until now what we explained all along is to point out the he's making the point that the way the Eir and Sof is lifnei atzimtzum before Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, before it descends and is divided into these stages of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, like tzimtzum is pashtus, hamshacha is pashtus, which means the Reish Hakav v'chulu. Before that, the Eir is in a state of total abstraction above the division of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. But now he says that's what he's pointing all along. But now he takes us another step. Yesh loymar, b'chinas retzenis ha'oyer p'nes Vav-Kei d'Shem Havai she'ba'atzmus, shekol ba'atzmus. So there he takes us a step higher. That one more step higher. That there is also a concept of Havai k'moshkol ba'atzmus. There is also a concept of Havai even lifnei atzimtzum in there himself. And the reason Yud-Kei and Vav-Kei is that what he just described, that in the self-shift natzimtzum gufa, there is the pnim yisrael, Chitzein yisrael, pnim yisrael, like I said before, eine mocker klal spheres, and Chitzein yisrael is that madriga which is eventually a mocker. So the reason these two parts is the Yud-Kei and Vav-Kei. Loymar p'nes Chitzein yisrael p'nes Vav-Kei Shem Havai she'ba'atzmus shekol ba'atzmus p'nes peka fa'oyer p'nes pnimis. Shem Havai she'ba'atzmus, comment. One second. The comment here. So yeah, he's talking about the Vav-Kei. The Vav-Kei, the way it is in Shem Havai, in Lifnei Atzimtzum, the way the Chitzein Yisakav is connected to the Pnimios, so there, over there, the take for the strength of the earth is just like this. I canal the Shamim Tainim Matachlis, believe it sees club. Because in that madrega, the earth, it's just Lashon Rabim for some reason. Shamim Tainim Matachlis, not just club. Kain Hein Shom, the Lashon Rabim probably means the spheres. So it's, it's Ardus, or maybe it means the Isis of Vovke. Oh, maybe the Isis of Vovke is on the state of Isad of Isab. There's also a concept of Kolona, because they're united and there's no division, that itself brings up a higher level. So now that will explain and answer the question that we started, the concept we started at the beginning of this Maimon. This Maimon said the concept that Iya means Avai, but the Vovke is like the Yudke. I'm sorry. The Shom, I'm sorry, the Shem is Avai, the Shem Avai Sheba'atzvus, Lo Yesh. So in that madrega Shem Havai Shabbatzim, which is the Shem Havai the way it is, in Lifnei Tzimtzum, there's not even Yud Kol Vavke. Chol Hashem from His Gila B'Shav. In the entire name, which means both sides, the Yud Kol and Vavke, everything is equal. Shem Havai Shel Elam Mitzvah, Ayam Elam Mitzvah, Vavke She'enik Mitzvah Yud Kol. When the Shem Havai becomes Gila Elam is the Havai Shel Achad Tzimtzum, over there the Vavke and the Yud Kol are separated. The Vavke is a lower level because there's already division, just like in the Mashal of the Aratalmik. The Schenken, the way Shem Havai is Lifnei Tzimtzum, it's all one. So over there the Yud Kol and Vavke as equal. So Zev and Amitza Klasi Kol LaAmshach Knes Kohanelam. And the Pesach and Tzav Shevnei Tzimtzum is Knes Vavke. The Shem Havai Shem Gila Gam K'ma Yud Kol. So that is the concept of Metzakos Iko. What does Metzakos Iko means? That you carry to Mimamshach that Madrega Shlifnei Tzimtzum, that the Vovke and the Yud is also Yudke. Shiur Shamshach Metzakos Atzer Himself. Like he said, the Shiur of that Hamshach is on the level of Pnius Atzer Himself. The Pnius Metzanis Ragam Shreinu Tzimtzum K'may Pnimis Kanal. The Kol Gai Shiur Shmagos Spheres. So because the lower level of the Vovke, even Lifnei Tzimtzum, still Shiur Shmagos. But can't say Hamshach Metzakos Atzer Himself. That means Yudke Anel. Misham Nimshach Lisa Vovke K'may Yudke. So when the Mamshach the Yudke of Tzimtzum, that in turn makes the Vovke also in the level of Yudke. Misham Nimshach Lisa Vovke V'ayna the B'Shem Havai Shebegil Lo Yagam Ken Chilukim Adek Zatzim Barak Moishu BeYudke Yeh Begil Yagam B'Vovke. So in other words, the ultimate purpose is that even in the Shem Havai Shebegil, even in our experience, we should also feel that the Hedar is Chalkus, that the Vovke should also be in the same Adek as the Yudke. So that's how I finished this part of the Maimon. And it's really, I don't remember why, but if you look in the Mafteach, now the new Maimon starts. For some reason, in the Mafteach, it says, where's the Mafteach? It says that in the birthday that's here in base the Rosh Hashanah. Now, I don't know, usually there's a no capital. For some reason, there's no capital here, but okay, we'll finish this Maimon. We're going to go back now to the beginning of the Maimon to repeat it. Need to move this one. And this also the next time also there's no capital, there's no date. But so we finished the first Maimon. So let's start again. First Maimon from the beginning. Okay, so back to page Aleph in the beginning of the Maimon. That's the pasuk we say before Kriyas Sheish. So the first question is, we just said that question we didn't answer yet. Why is it that the Metzal brings down Nani B'Melech? What is the concept? Based on Ko. Why does he have to repeat the word Ko? It should have said Mina Meitza Kosi Ko Nani B'Melech. Why do you have to say Ko again? Why is it using Shem Yudke, not Shem Havaya? So in the other capital that we say, also says Mitshuva, say Shamaz, Mamakim Kasicha Havaya, say Shem Havaya. This pasuk says in a Metzah, which is similar to Mamakim, Kasi Yudke, not Havaya. What's the remez? In a Beshalot of Kofnei, Shalach Isot, so there's a Shalot. Shalot says Pshat in this pasuk, that Kavoni she based Pu'omim Yudke. The reason it says in pasuk 2 times Yudke means that instead of Shem Havai, Yudke Vovke should be twice Yudke. The eine Shem Havai, Shem Vovke, Iye Kamo Yudke Yudke. Kamo Shelo Osid, Iksi, so in other words, that's the Bakasha of Menametz Kasi Yudke Avonei Vamechav Yudke, that the Vovke should also be Yudke. Kamo Shelo Osid, like it says in pasuk Lo Osid Lo Iksi Vayemo Iye. So that's Shalos Pshat, that's Kabbalah. See, let's talk about it. That what does it mean? By Yemo Iye, Iye means based on me Yudke. Umavayr, and then he explains in Shalom over there, the Shem Havai Sheba Atzmos Gam Vovke Knes Yudke. That there's a concept called Shem Havai Sheba Atzmos. In Shem Havai Sheba Atzmos, the Vovke is also another of Yudke. V'zeo Achal Nivar Elam Oyu Shmei Belvad. So he brings another remez. A remez of the word that Shem Havai Sheba Atzmos. It's not Yudke Vovke, but Yudke. It says in Maimah Chazal. The remez is in the Maimah Chazal. Maimah Chazal in Pirkei D'Ableza. What does it say? The Lashon. Actually, Nivar Elam Hoya Hu Shmei Belvad. Says the Shalom Hoya. The word Hoya U Yud Beza Hey. Fine. Yudke. So the word Hoya is also the same concept of the word Iye, but the Yud applies, we have to repeat the Yud in our head, in our mind. So there's two Heys and one Yud, that really means Iye. That's Koyesh Nivoilam, like we said, Lifnei Shem Havai Sheba Atzmos, it's called Hoya, just like Iye. V'chein Hoya, then there's another remez that Shalom brings, the Pasuk. First it brings from Pirkei D'Ableza, from Chazal, then it brings from Pasuk, beginning of Bereishis. That Madrega. I'm sorry. Hoyo Yudke Yud base Ein and Yudke Yud. Same thing is also Ershniv. What is it supposed to say about the Ershniv Rishon? So the word he is the same thing. Base Ace is Yudke, Yudke. The way he is also similar to twice Yudke, just like Hoyo. Dua, and that fits what you just said before. That I think that until now, that's the Shalom. Now he's going to go into the Chassidus Pshat. What's up, Chassidus? Dua, the Ershe Niva Be'amishnu P'nasai Sof Abligul B'Shosh P'nasai Sof Shefnei Atzimtzum. K'mosh Balach Atzimtzum K'mosh Ba'etz. Ershe Niva Be'amishnu. Sniva, that created Yom Rishon means that the earth of Shefnei Atzimtzum was revealed in our world, in Lachar Atzimtzum. That's the concept of the Yom Rishon. The earth of Shefnei Atzimtzum, Bo Lachar Atzimtzum, K'moshu Ba'etz, and we say, Ne'gulim Kosh Kosam HaKamach. In other places, that says that's Pshat of the Zigulim. We learned all our Rishos in Ayin Aleph. Igulim V'yesha. Igulim means the Gil of the Eagle HaGod, the Shefnei Atzimtzum. That's the another remez of Zel Gonze La'atzmai. So Rashi says, if you remember Rashi, just learned it. Rashi says, that's one girse. But another girse is in another medrash says Gonze La'atzmai. Hid it for himself. What's mentors? It's a that Madrigan oil, it's a male atzme. There's no outside, there's no other. It's all within himself. So that's a Gonzal Atz.
So that was created on first day? Was that
Yeah.
So it means the first day of the creation, the order etzem was down below?
It wasn't created. Like it says, Nimshach Shebalachar Atzimtzum. That's what it says. The Yom Rishon, there was the Amshach of that Shefnei Atzimtzum was Nimshach in our reality. And that Gonzin, that name is hid it. What? Yeah, that's the Remez here. What it means is there's sichas of the Rebbe explaining what the concept of Eshni Rishon. The Rebbe explains this famous sichas of the Rebbe. He explains that right. Actually, we learned similar things in Nine Aleph also that the Rebbe created the world. Also, it's also similar to the concept of Ikar Shchina B'Tachtenim Ma'isa. That in the beginning of creation, the Rebbe put in the ultimate gilui that we eventually going to reach in order to give us the koyach of avodah. It's in the beginning. Yeah, it's similar to what it says. So that the beginning of creation, there was a hamshach of that highest level of in our world, to make our world a proper place where we can reach this high of making a deal with Tachtenim. Yeah, Al Kopanim, we're still in the middle of explaining this whole shalom. Still in the middle of explaining the shalom. Okay, so now there's another question. The question is, why is it that first of all, why is it Merumas in Pirkei Blazer that Yud-K is Merumas in Hoya Ush Merumas, Hey Yud Hey. In Pasuk Yehi Eretz Merumas in Yehi. Yud Yud. Why is the difference? It says, Mashe, Shem Rashi B'atzmas Omer, Hey, Hoya, Beis Hey, Shem Rashi B'atzmas Beis Yud. So that actually there's a difference between the Ersh Niva and the Ersh Kodesh Niva. Because actually Niva means the Madrega of the earth of the way it's called Batzmus. Actually Niva. Yemesh Niva is that actually was misgal in our world. There's a difference between these two. That's Malumas why one is called Hoya, one is called Ihi. Why? It says because Umasha B'Shem Rash B'Atzim Zaymer Hoya Beis Hey. And again, the Shem Rash B'Atzim says the Pirkei Avos the Hoya, the two Hey. The Yud is only one. El B'Shem Rash B'Atzim Rishon Nama Beis Yudin. Mashenken the Reitz Malumas and Shem Rash B'Atzim Rishon Yehi was the Emet Shlema. So the reason is because each of these two brings out the chiddush. What is the chiddush? When we're talking about actually, what is the chiddush? That there's also hey. Hey means he later he's going to explain what the hey is, but he's already telling us that hey is. Yud hey Yud is the symptom. Hey is the spashtus. Hey means that's already spashtus. There's expansion. So the chiddush is the different symptom. There's also hey. That's the chiddush. But the chiddush is that even though it's already related to elements, but niva be'emrishon, it's still the yud. This is why here the hey is the gilin there the yud. But not only that, he brings a dogma of that. Dogma to that concept that sometimes we stress the chiddush, we stress the opposite. What's the dogma? That was a cause. So
how can we say that before the Beret Olam there was, or the Simpson was the level of Pashtus? Because that's a Simpson. That's the whole idea of Simpson. What?
No, it means that obviously it means the way they spash is called b'koyach. They explain later on the mind. The chitzayin is the way it's called b'koyach in the yeah. Doesn't mean it's spashless mamish, right? Yeah, it's the potential for spash. You're right. Yeah. Was sagt about that? Was it so? By chachma ma'ayin timotz, ve'ezem akoyim bin. Pasuk says mishle chachma ma'ayin timotz. Timotz. That's the deep. The deep is timotz. Chachma ma'ayin timotz. Ve'ezem akoyim bin. Yadua. We know that chachma and bin is chaim v'yesh k'mo she'izbai. We already learned later on the mind. I explained the difference. Chachma and bin. Chachma is ayin. It's abstract. Bina means you understand, you comprehend, you develop. So it's ein v'yesh. The pasuk says the opposite. Timotze means not in the sense of it's obviously it's all a remez. The remez is timotze miloshem mitzius, that it's a tangible being, which means the opposite of ayin. Over bina nema sheina mitzius. Over bina nema ve'ezem akem bina. Where is the place? There's no place of bina. Shemay al heder mitzius. Chayim sech ve'efach. Chayim is the opposite. Chachma is ayin. Ezer Mekom Chachma. Bina is timotze, because Bina is something tangible, like you just said. No words. Vayinyan, so this is so Chassidus explains in another place, Pshat. Here, Sheyesh Oven Chachma Hakam Bina, because Sefer Tzir says that Chachma really contains Bina within, and Bina contains Chachma. Chachma is started head on it says, but it has it contains it's also the potential of Bina. The opposite. Bina is started the expansion, but it has within it the Nekudas HaChachma. That's called in the Lashon of Sefer Tzir. Havein b'Chachma Hakam b'Bina. שבחר, כנס הבינה של המציץ, בבינה יש ממש חכמה, שכנס העין, like it says, which is by, so he explains, that's why the Pasuk says, Chachma and Timotzi, Chachma uses Metzias, but Bina says, to express the Chidush each of them has. So it just uses that as a dogma of what he said earlier when they get to Hoya and he, Kamoikin, but Tzimtzum, Nama Beis Hey, Shazera Chidush, Shaboy, but the Chidush is that there's Hey, or Shleimerish, Nama Beis Yud, Chidush. Okay, so we finished discussing the whole concept of Yud K with the Shalom. What does it say? When I get to that, first actually, same thing when they get to it says it's only Yud K. That seems by the Gnizah of Gonfilax, but not something else. That creates a second part of Shem Havai should be not Yudke but Vovke. So the way it is called different symptoms. Otherwise, it will be a mission to Yudke here. But to the Giza, the symptom, it laws itself to the state of Vovke. Vazeo Kaosi Ko Ein Prinas Yoanelon is Vovke Gamke Yudke. Vazeo Oma Anonim Mechavko. So after we understood that really the Yudke, the Lifnat Tzimtzum, the Yudke. Now we understand what it means. In Hametzer Kosik Yudke, we're going to have Yudke, like it's going to stand also in the end of the Maimon, that the Yudke Anelam should be, there's the Amshach of Yudke Anelam, that the Vovke should become Yudke. Because the Yudke means, or none of Yudke means, turn the Vovka into Yudke, like it is Lifnat Tzimtzum. That's now we understood a certain way of understanding the message in this passage, the concept of the passage. Now, in order to get into, so now the Maimon, after we have this introduction, the Maimon is going to discuss what Shem Havai is, what is the Yudke Vovke. We got the long arichas. Then later, like we just saw, later we come back and we explain what the pasuk means, similar to what you said now. In Shem Havai, what is Shem Havai? Shem Havai plus Gilui. Shem Havai in general signifies the concept of Gilui, extension and revelation, expression. Like I said, that says in Kabbalah, Havaya is the Eir. When you get the essence sphere, sometimes it's the Kelim. Each Kli has its own Shem, and Havai is the Eir. Only in Tiferes, in the spheres of Tiferes, Gamma Kli or Havai. That's why Shem Havai is Tiferes. But that's not important. But important is the Havai. When you talk about the spheres, Havai means Gilui. Shem Elikim P'nas Kelim P'nas El. Shem Havai P'nas El. Shem P'nas Gilui. The point is that Shem Havai, as a general message, Havai means. You see, Shem HaMeferesh, it would be just Yom Kippur, Ksher Kerim, Kerim Mishtach Memaitim, because Shem Havaya means Gilui Elikus, the Eibishter reveals itself. So that causes Kriya, Mishtachavah, that causes Bittul. So Shem Havaya means, Shem HaMeferesh, Shem Havaya means the Gilui Elikus. Yeshleima, Zerkos, Shem Havaya. What?
But every name has its own characteristic, you know. So Shem Havai is okay. It's a little more claristic, but so as it is said when they say the Gilui Or it is true for every name. It's not just specifically about Shem Havai.
The meaning of Havai is Gilui Elikus. like what is the meaning of Havaya? Havaya means he is, he exists. Or Mahavet. The Shem Havaya brings out the concept of expression. He's here as his full glory. That's the meaning of the Shem. That's why it's called Shem HaGodl, Shem HaMefoirish. It's the name that fully expresses Elikus. That Hashem Elikim expresses an aspect of his being, that he's judging, he's a judge. That's like this is general. And now he says another point. Exactly also effort when Shem Elikim, Shem Havai, Shem Eyer, there's also another Shem Eyer, like it says, the Eibush Shem Moshe, Shem Moshe, da Koisem Nesa, Eyer Shlachani Aleichem, Shem Eyer. So what's Eyer? The Ba'er Gufa, Shem Eyer plus Helen. Eyer is Helen. 9 plus Etzma Shalman plus Gil. Eyer is Eyer. What is the meaning of the word Eyer? I will be. What does I will means? Now I'm not. I will be. So that itself signifies, that means that right now I'm not revealed. I will be with them, but now I'm not. So A means Helen. So that's one. So first to say the different Havai and Elikim. Also, that's the different Havai and A. A is I will reveal myself. I will be. Havai means I am. I am here. I'm here full force. So in a way, it says Hey is higher than Havai. Hey is Helam Shalomaylam plus the Gimel. Hey means right now I'm not beginning. Shalomaylam plus Gimel. In other places in Kabbalah, these two madrigas Havai and Hey, it's compared to the root of the tree and the trunk, the body of the tree. So the root is hidden. The root is like Hey. But the tree itself is a Yud Kevav Havai. It means he's there. He's Megillah. So that's step one. I don't know. You know what? I'm not sure why he brings in this area. Yeah, it just says Yeshleima. I'm not sure why he brings it in. I mean, it adds to clarify the point he's making that Shem Havaya is Gilead. First of all, B'yachat Hashem Elikim, that Havaya is Eres, and Elikim is Canus, and that Elikim is the Madriga below Havaya. Maybe that's what it means. Is above Havaya. Is the Maila Megillah, Helen. Not Etzamah Shlamaila Megillah. Elikim is the Kalim, which is the Mata Megillah. Is the Etzamah Shlamaila Megillah. Havaya is in the middle. Havaya is the Gillah. So that's
all of this is Achar Tzimtzum, right?
No, I mean, he's not talking about Tzimtzum now. He's just describing what Havaya is. At this point, we're not talking about Tzimtzum. Let's in other words, this madregas, we can talk about Pashtus, you're right, that Pashtus Lachar Tzimtzum, but he's not discussing that part now. Now he says another point. In Havaya Gufa, we need base shemus Havaya. Shem Havaya, we know there's base shemus. Which cause of Keinu Midas Arachim. And when we talk about it, Midas Arachim, Vayiko, the Eibush the call to Moshe Rabbeinu, Vayava upon the Vayiko, Havaya, two Havayas. I know what is the What's it in the two levels of Havai? It says in the Gili Gufa. In other words, Havai is Gili. It's not Elikim, it's not A, it's Gili. But in Gili Gufa, there are two levels. It's Oya Meir Atzmai. Again, so A is Atzmai Shal Maila Megili. But in Havai is Gili. But in the Gili Gufa, there are two levels. Oya Meir Atzmai Shal Maila Megili. Vayeshapan is Gili Elements. The two Havais represent two levels, two stages, two levels in Gili Gufa. The Oya Shalifna Shalmaila Elements, which one is Gili Elements? There's two madrigas in Havaya Gufa.
But it's not the one is in the Malam Elements is not here. Is the same idea, no?
No, what is Oya Meila Atzmai?
So what is also Helen? Bechnad Helen was the first line.
So so if you, where was it? I remember where Chassidus always talks about. I think it starts in Shiur and Mitzvah. There's Etzem HaOil, and in the Oil Gilui the two madrigas, Oil Atzem and Oil Zelosim. The two madrigas in Gilui Guf. Gilui Atzem, Gilui Zelosim. The simple meaning is, let's say again, he's going to talk a lot about Mashpia Makabel. Again, the martial chassidus and this Prima Vegas is also in the mind. There's the etzema of the Koyach HaMaskil, the ability to shine, the ability to analyze. Then you have the Seichel HaGolu, there's two days, Gilul HaAtzmai. The Seichel HaGolu, the person uses the intellect to understand things to himself, and there was a loss. The way the Seichel is in a way that can be communicated to outside. So again,
Mail Asm is Helem, no?
Male, it's Helem Klapik Azulas, but it's not Helem La'atzmai. So that's there's Etzmai from this Helem, that's the Chlal Mailam Gilud. Then there's something called Gilud La'atzmai. So give you the marshal, the person and his own. There's a state of Etzmai or Helem, the Skoicha masculine. He has the ability to use his mind, but he's not using it. Then he uses his mind, but all within himself. So that's called Gilui La'atzmai. That's the madrega of what he says now. Oya Meir La'atzmai shel Amayim It's Oya Meir La'atzmai, and that's one madrega. That's the Avaya Shelifnei. Ve'oya Shuknes Gilui Eloilamas. Sick time and Beis Hashem. Now he's going to start talking about the tzimtzum. Sick time between these two madregas and Gilui, sick time. So if you look in Chumash in the pasuk Vayikavaya, so there's a line between the two avayas, which means between these two stages in avaya, the Gilul Atzmai and Gilul Zalose, there's a major act of tzimtzum, a contraction, a concealment happens in between.
But the same hacker is even higher than Kifishu Meir La'atzmai.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand. That's how he explains it here. The same area, that's Etzemah Shelamayla Megillah, even La'atzmai. Avaya is Gilui, but in Gilui there are two levels in Gilui. There's Gilui La'atzmai, Gilui Zalasa. Now he's going to go into the long discussion. What does it mean? What do we need a tzimtzum for? So all this is to explain the difference between Avaya La'atzmai and Avaya Zalasa. Now he already talks the language of tzimtzum. So the way he'll explain it now is that Avaya Gilui La'atzmai, that is the Shelifnei tzimtzum. The Avaya Shel Tzerech Ha'olam is that's the Achar tzimtzum, and the Psik Taima, the fact that there is a line, there's a top in between, like a comma, that's Mohammed and the tzimtzum. So now he's going to start a whole new discussion. In the Yodua, the Lifnei tzimtzum lo yavknetzah Shel Tzerech Ha'olam is nigav from Atzmai klal. The fact that the Sof Lifnei tzimtzum eventually has the potential and eventually reached us Achar tzimtzum, but that aspect of the Sof Lifnei tzimtzum that becomes a mocker to Lifnei Achar tzimtzum was not, that aspect was not recognizable separately. That and sometimes it's called the Eir HaGvul. The fact that sometimes it's called the Eir HaGvul, the limited Eir that can reach the Eilamis, it was part of the Eir and so, but it was not recognizable as a separate entity. That tzimtzum nivdal v'nifrosh p'chinas ha'Eir shel Tzerech Ha'olam. The function of the tzimtzum is, the way he explains it here now, is that the separation, the fact that the Eir HaGvul has its own function. Before it was not separated. No, a marshal, so now he goes into long arichas in the marshal. Or the marshal was a mashpia makabel. I mean, it's usually called Rabbi Talmud. He calls it mashpia makabel. The teacher and the student. The mashpia in the world of the mashpia, in the world of the teacher, the way the seichel la'atzmai, the way he understands the intellectual concepts within his own mind, eine be'erach ha'makabel klal. it's not on the level that the makabel is shaykh to, that the student is shaykh to the makabel. The eine nika kapel is the shaykh to makabel. No, more importantly, not only it's not bad, even that part of the seichel which is chitzenius, shaykh makabel, it's not nika. It's not. It doesn't. It's not recognizable. That external aspect of the seichel, which eventually will reach the student, is not recognizable. It's not any nika klal. Because it's fully united, fully one with the pneumius, with the part of the seichel, that's the way that the teacher sees it. Why? Because the full light means the perception, the way that the teacher reaches it is fully within them, fully expressed. צריך להשפיע לצמצם לאנים השיחו ששם גם ועוז ניבל במצחיצן השיחו שלנו. This is the concept that this describes what Tzimtzum means. In order for the part of the seichel which is the makabel, which the student is shy to understand, should be recognizable in the mind of the mashpia, in the teacher's own mind. It should be able to recognize and separate that part that can be relatable to the student. He has to block tzimtzum, he has to block that part, that view, the way he sees it from his own pure perspective. Only then is the chitzenius seichel separated. It's almost that makes the chitzenius seichel recognizable. The chitzenius seichel really, essentially, doesn't have the same depth as the pnimis seichel. But מיוחד בהפנימיס. בואי כמו הפנימיס. Okay, we'll revisit this tomorrow. All right.
Yeah.